Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to make this card today, which features the Today's Tiles stamp set. So not one that gets used a lot that I've seen in samples and things, but I really like it. I like the geometry of it all, and I've made this one. So you can see that this is all in shades of brown. And it may not be terribly obvious on the video, but some of those squares are actually raised up, and they're actually on two levels. So I've used regular dimensionals behind the medium coloured ones, and then the lightest colour are actually on adhesive foam sheet, which is just a fractionally thicker than the dimensional. So I've got those tiles on 3 different levels there to give it some texture in real life. Okay, so the colours on this were Sahara Sand, Sahara Sand, Crumb Cake, and Soft Suede. Okay, Soft Suede card base and Soft Suede for the stamping. Okay, so we're going to make a version of this, and I thought it would look really cute in Just Jade. Okay, so I've already cut a whole load of bits and pieces. So regular card base in use, 4 1/8 scored at 5 7/8 of an inch. I'm using Very Vanilla rather than Whisper White, and that is 4 by 5 3/4. And then I've got 2 squares here. So we've got the Very Vanilla is 3 1/4, so the Jade is 3 3/8. Yeah, 3 3/8. Mental maths with inches. So those are those. And I've actually cut 2 sets because you can actually get 2 cards out of the prep that I'm going to do right now. We're going to use the Stampin' Up, which I've put down. There it is. Okay. And I've already mounted the tiles onto the plate there, kind of straight on some paper, and we're going to use soft sea foam, Pear Pizzazz, and the Just Jade. We'll see how they work out. I think I haven't actually tried the colour combo in advance, so we'll see how it works out. Just to clear some space for my window there so that I can lift that up in a minute. I need to put a stamp set underneath it, that's what I need to do. Put that there, I can grab it. So we're going to start with the lightest colour, and you can just about see off to the left. Let's shuffle that over a bit so you can see the stamping and the inking kind of. Sorry about the glare on the window, sorry, I've got to have these bright lights on. This it's not a dull day, but it's that sort of winter sun, so I'm making sure that's really well inked. And then I'm going to bring it over and press that down. So do find on the Very Vanilla you do get a slightly different hue to your inks. Not much, but that looks really nice, doesn't it? That's lovely. Okay, so we're going to use the hinge to our advantage here and move it down too. Slide that up out of the way. You don't want those magnets to touch, remember. And that's going to come in for our Pear Pizzazz. So we're doing this, we're basically stamping 3 times in the 3 colours to give us our various tiles for the project. And of course, the beauty of the Stampin' Up means that when you do stupid things like that and don't ink it up properly, you can go back over it. So let's do that. In fact, I'm going to re-ink the whole lot because it will take it, everything will be a shade darker. Actually going over it twice, so let's just do that, and I can reposition that without any worry that that's going to end up with a blurred image. Beautiful, look at that. Stampin' Up has done its work. And then finally the Just Jade. Okay, I do love this green. I've used green ever such a lot more since the introduction of this colour. It'll be a really nice one So have back in, oh, jump it, 1, 2. They do sometimes bring back the in colours, which happened a couple of years ago when they rearranged the colour palette from Stampin' Up. I would be very happy if this one came back. Ooh, they're lovely, aren't they? Do you know what? I'm going to give that another layer, I think. Really intensify that colour. Because I can. Whoa, look at that. That's lovely. Okay, I'm just going to put those ink pads to one side for the moment, and I'm going to grab my chamois to just clean off the edge of this plate and the stamp so that I can put this away without it getting ink everywhere. How well loved that chamois is. You can put them in the washing machine. I do rinse it out, but it does stain. But I hear that you can put them in the washing machine, they come out clean. I just haven't. I just rinse mine out periodically. Okay, so we've got those. We can put away the Stamparatus for a moment somewhere behind me. There we go. So now what we've got to do is basically trim all those down into individual tiles, okay? So you can use your trimmer. Now the idea was to try and get that straight, so I could use the trimmer. But it doesn't seem to have come out as straight as I'd have hoped. Sorry, you probably can't see that down at the bottom. I'm just putting that down at the bottom because that top line should have been straight because it was a fresh piece of cardstock. So I've just trimmed away that edge to give me a clean edge there, and that in theory should mean that this one's right now. So if I line that up in the track, there we are. And then once you've got two square sides, then you can rock and roll with around the edge. But the middle, because there's a gap between the tiles, I did find it was a little easier to do this with scissors. So your trimmer can do a lot of the work for you, but it may not do all of it. So like cutting them down into individual little tiles. So if I cut this strip now, which is roughly there, yep, okay, so that's now got the sort of three sides that are nice and close to the tiles, but cutting those individual strips is a little bit of a faff on the you can do it. So there's one tile, and there's another, but I kind of feel like I'm spending a lot of time lining it up when actually I could just use my scissors, if you know what I mean. But the choice is yours. If you want to carry on using the trimmer, use the trimmer. I personally found it easier for this portion, getting the tiles into individuals like this, to use a really nice straight pair of scissors and just cut them like this. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off this strip with you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the filming because I don't think you want to see me cut all of these down. Now that you've seen one set done. Okay, so you end up with all of these. Okay, so I was originally, when I did the project, I was sorting them into colours. When I found out, then I realised it would have been easier for me to have sorted them out into a design. So get all your designs stacked up from your trimmer, and I shall meet you back here for some assembly. Okay, alright, see you back in a minute. Okay, so we've done all the stamping and cutting now, so you should have ended up with each tile design in each of the 3 colours that you've used. Okay, so for this one, you say, so this design I've got 1 in each of the 3 colours. Okay, and you should have had that, should have ended up with all of those. And what I've just gone ahead and done is I've decided what my 3x3 grid's going to look like. So these are the ones we're not going to use. So what I've tried to do is not have the same design on each row and have different colours on each row. So that's entirely your preference. If you want to do it differently, then please do. And then those need to be adhered onto our vanilla squares. But I think what I didn't do on the last one was I had these separate, and it was a bit more difficult to adhere things down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these vanilla pieces down onto my Just Jade mats, so that they'll be easier to add to my card when I'm done. Okay, so we'll just get those ready just quickly, and then we'll start putting the tiles onto this topper. Okay, which is kind of the fun bit, if you like. Okay then. So what I did was I had I wanted the lightest ones to be raised up higher, so they were closer to. So we're going to start with the dark ones. Okay, and I'm going to pick up that tile, and I'm going to use wet glue. And because I know that I've got the dimensions of this, I'm just going to eyeball that border. But the wet glue will mean that I've just got a little bit of wriggle time when I start doing the other tiles as well. Okay, so there's the first 3 in place. The next darkest we're going to use regular dimensionals for. Oops. Okay, so just going to use 1 on each of these, and oh, you know what? I'm going to add some glue onto those as well, which means those get some wriggle time too. You've seen me do this before. It does help with this kind of thing where you know you want the placement to be just right. And that looks a little too far over. Gone quiet, sorry. Concentrating on my my little tiles. Okay. So that's those 3. And then these, as I said, we're going to use this foam sheet. So you get they're only small, but you get, how many sheets do you get? 6? Yes, 6 sheets of this stuff, which you can cut down with scissors. So I've got scissors specifically for sticky stuff, and you can use this through your die cut machine as well. So I want 3 sort of homemade dimensionals, if you like, and flip those over. Just trying to make sure I keep them in the same orientation in terms of the design. Backing comes off really easy as well. Fantastic. It's even easier than dimensionals. So there we go. Put dabs of glue on there. And we'll put that into place. It's only fractionally taller than the dimensionals, but in real life it does make a difference. It's really quite nice. Ooh. so that one's done. Leave that to one side, and I'm going to put one of my D blocks on there just to hold those tight just for a moment, and we're going to do the same with this one. Okay. So I hope you like this idea. And I've gone with sort of tonal colours, but I guess you can use a whole heap of different colours if you wanted to. Obviously you just need to stamp the appropriate number of original tiles. And you're laughing really. Dimensionals for our medium ones. Like so. I was going to do it in Misty Moonlight, so you know, like that crockery that you get, which has probably got a really fancy name, which I can't think of right now, but you know what I mean. But I've actually used up all my Misty Moonlight cardstock because, you know, it's fab, right? Misty Moonlight's a beautiful colour. So again, we want 3 pieces of this. To add to these ones, so top, middle, bottom. Like that. And then add some more glue to those. And that's it, that's our 2 toppers made. So I guess once your tiles are done and cut, the rest is reasonably straightforward. It's just gluing stuff down in the right order. I could have, it just occurred to me that I could have laid those out differently so that you could see a different way of laying them out. But I'm sure you'll have your own ideas on what you want to do with those. This is merely a serving suggestion. So get another block and just leave those for a moment while we just mat up our cards. Just use some, what's it called? Seal. So quite enjoying using seal now. It's it was worthwhile sticking with it. Haha, no pun intended. And because it does have that little bit of extra strength that snail didn't, you don't need as much of it, and you get more of it on a reel, which is ka-ching's best. So you get, it is good value. I say, I do like tape adhesive. I mean, I've used some wet glue today, but generally speaking, I do like the dry adhesives. Okay, so we will put these on our card, and I am going to use wet adhesive for this. I'm trying to get a tape runner to run over that texture isn't going to be easy. Plus it will just give me a little moment to position it where I want it to be, and hopefully it'll be straightish. Yep. Don't need to go crazy with the wet glue either. It's very strong. So once these are down, they ain't going anywhere. One of those tiles is a bit crooked, but you know, hey ho. Handmade, right? The only thing left to do is to add the sentiment. We'll stick with just wanted to say hello. We'll use our jade pad for that. I was concerned when I made my sample that because I've got the raised elements there, but actually it was almost perfectly. Is that up right way up? Yeah, it is. It's not far off the right depth actually, so it was okay. Just press down firmly. And there we go, 2 Mosaic, Dimensional Mosaic, that's a good title, Dimensional Mosaic cards using the today's tiles, plural, stamp set. So that's my green version. So just to recap, it was just jade, pear pizzazz and soft sea foam were the ones I used there. Okay. As always, products will be linked below. And then this one was my original sample, all in shades of brown, Sahara sand, crumb cake and soft suede. Okay, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's something you may want to try with this stamp set. I'd love to see what you do with it too. Stay safe everybody, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again real soon. Okay, take care, bye.